is not dead. If you look at Afghanistan, you'll see that it's strategically located in the same neighborhood as China, as Iran, as Russia, really, as Turkey, Iraq. It's right there in the middle of things. And so the way the empire looks at things is, well, we got to be in there firstest with the mostest, even if it's mostly an attempt to deny the Chinese or the Russians or the Indians or whomever from getting in there before we were. Now, what makes Afghanistan strategic? Well, one of the things that makes it strategic is that it lies directly beneath a country called Turkmenistan, which used to be part of the Soviet Union, and Turkmenistan has in it natural gas deposits worth all the oil under the sands of Iraq. Now, the problem is Chevron's in there, a lot of the oil companies are in there, natural gas companies, but you can't get it here from there, okay? You got to do a pipeline, and you can't have that pipeline go through Russia. You have to have it go south. And guess what the next country is Afghanistan, and then Pakistan, and then a little slice of India. And at the terminal of this projected pipeline, all the studies were done and was ready to go. Guess what? Enron was supposed to be the person marketing that natural gas. So the whole thing is as corrupt as can be. The Taliban visited Houston, Texas, when Governor George Bush expressed interest in what was going on there with this pipeline. Our ambassador to Afghanistan and later to Iraq, Khalid Zad, was one of the people involved in this, and so was Karzai.
Yeah, he was the Unicol executive.
Yeah. So that's part of it. Now, I'm not saying that's the whole thing. The whole thing, the whole ball of wax involves the strategic location. And what needs to happen here, Alex, in my view, is pretty simple. There's a finite amount of oil. There's a finite amount of natural gas in this world. Now, if we're going to try to seize it all or seize control of it, then Iraq can be looked on as simply the first resource war of the 21st century. What we have to do is what my 4-year-old grandson learns in nursery school. I went up and I asked his teacher, "What do you expect to teach these kids?" They said, "Oh, that's simple. We teach them that they have to learn to share. A certain amount of toys on the table, they have to learn to share because there's a finite amount of things." And I said, wow, there it is. Cheney, Bush, even now Obama, they never went to this nursery school for sure. What has to happen is we get together with the Chinese, the Indians, and other people who need that oil and gas, figure out how to share it.
And jointly develop it instead. I mean, we go back to 53. That's what caused the whole Iran thing, as you know. Mohammed Mossadegh said we're going to keep 25% of our own money to American oil companies and British oil companies. And they said, no, we get everything. We overthrow you using the Muslim extremist. I mean, it's the same story every time.
That's right. Well, that was a company called BP, actually, which I think has been in the news lately. You get a corrupt enterprise like British Petroleum, which controlled all the oil in Iran prior to the revolution in 53, and if you let them persuade you to overthrow the governments there, then as night follows the day, they will be filled with the uncontrollable hubris that they've demonstrated now in the Gulf of Mexico, and the people of the world, the simple people like you and me, Alex, have a real problem.
And it's the same thing over and over again. I think, what was BP called? Anglo-American Oil?
Yeah, that's what they call themselves now. But BP is a direct descendant.
No, exactly. I mean, it's the same company. You're absolutely right in that Dutch partnership. But I mean, it's the same players over and over again.
Yeah. Well, it's just that they are so powerful. And here's Obama. He was asked just a half hour ago at his press conference, do you feel a little funny about that decision you made 2 weeks before the oil blow up in the Gulf, when you said that, we have to drill offshore, and these companies, have reduced the dangers greatly. And he said, well, I still think we have to drill offshore, but My mistake was taking the word of the companies. Well, for Pete's sake, of course they take the word of the companies. Look at the people that they had in the Interior Department, people who are still there, taking bribes and everything else from the oil companies. The system is corrupt. What Obama should have done is come in, got rid of all those people, given them jobs in the library if he couldn't fire them, and get some real control over these precious resources, despite the avarice and the desire of people like BP to control this important resource.
Okay, Ray McGovern, stay there. Let's come back and get your breakdown of where you see Afghanistan and Pakistan going, and then to the West, what your intel is from all your sources. Is it green light to go into Iran? Who will hit? U.S. operation with Israel? Israel goes it alone? We'll talk about that and a lot more, plus the North Korea situation.
When you hear the words water purification, what comes to mind? If it's Berkey Water Purification Systems, this message is for you. Did you know that over 60% of municipal water contains fluoride at less than 2 cents per gallon? Berkey water filters purify treated and untreated water, remove dangerous chlorine, fluoride, and contaminants from municipal water. These filters are powerful enough to purify stagnant pond water, making them perfect for rainwater collection systems. From the smallest to the largest systems, BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com has what you need. With your system purchase, you'll receive a shower filter, a fluoride filter, or 2 sport Berkey bottles absolutely free. BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com would like to offer GCN listeners 5% off all ceramic filter systems and ship all orders over $50 free of charge. Visit BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. Or call 1-877-99-BERKEY. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY today.
You may be arrested and/or subject to other police action.
Tyranny is here. The grim future foretold in 1984 has become reality.
It really says that the state is God.
The United States is now recognized globally as one of the most oppressive police states on earth. This film conclusively proves the existence of a secret network of FEMA camps, now being expanded nationwide. This documentary exposes how the continuity of government program has established an all-powerful shadow state. Police State 4 chronicles the sickening depths to which our republic has fallen. Prepare to enter the secretive world of emergency dictatorship. Body scanners, sound cameras, citizen spies, stage terror, and cameras on every street corner. It's only the beginning of the New World Order's hellish plan. The police state isn't coming. It's here. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or see it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
Making the right decisions is a challenge to investors. Are we going to see economic growth, slide into a recession, or at worst, depression? Hi, Ted Anderson from Midas Resources. We all know when a company acts irresponsibly, divesting ourselves in a move towards safety is prudent. When the market becomes volatile, U.S. Treasuries are a safe haven. But what do you do when the U.S. government overextends itself and spends beyond its means? Many investors are turning toward gold as a common-sense alternative to traditional paper investments. Midas Resources has put together a powerful book titled 10 Reasons to Own Gold, discussing costs, benefits, risks, featuring full-color illustrations, weights, and measures. The book is free and can be yours by calling 800-686-2237. Paper investments are dwarfed by gold's 6,000-year history. Discover how gold may be right for you and your IRA by calling 800-686-2237. Whether buying or it's time for you to sell, the book is free. Call 800-686-2237.
The problem.
How do I cook food without power?
How do I light my home with no electricity?
How do I get emergency radio broadcasts?
How can I make safe drinking water? When your power goes out, the solution for cooking, baking, home lighting, listening to the radio, and producing clean water is the Family Emergency Kit from Karo Stove. Karo Stove has been in business for over 12 years with the largest selection of kerosene stoves and family preparedness supplies in the U.S. Now, get the Family Emergency Kit at KEROstove.com for only $429 plus shipping, a savings of nearly $200. It's perfect for off-the-grid living. Call 888-395-1164 today. That's 888 888-395-1164 and ask about weekly specials or check the specials online each week at KEROstove.com. Again, call 888-395-1164 or go to KEROstove.com. Kero Stove for family emergency solutions.
I can't wait to get into North Korea and see what Ray McGovern thinks about that. All I see is headlines everywhere about possible nuclear war and shelling Seoul and the disputed areas with the ships, and China's in Bloomberg saying we may shield North Korea, and the Pentagon saying they're ready for war. The war was never terminated. It's been a ceasefire for 50-plus years. Going back to Ray McGovern, this is a short segment, long segment coming up. Ray, when I interrupted you earlier with some other questions about why they're there,